Before anything, I just want to say Nightcrawler is now officially in the X-Men team. Like, bro is here to stay. He made his debut in the last episode and I thought that was it. We won't be getting him again. I mean, that is what they do with some good characters. But seeing him here officially in the intro video was so dope. Sadly, he replaced Gambit in the intro video. RIP to Gambit, even though I think he will still make a comeback later on in the show. But for now, RIP to him. Please kindly check out my last video on episode 5 if you haven't checked it out yet. I always wondered why we got Jubilee in the official X-Men team and not Nightcrawler. I did not see the previous animated show and maybe I don't fully get the backstory of Jubilee. Someone please help me here if I'm missing out on anything. For me, Jubilee's abilities are not that deep for her to be on the team over characters like Kurt Wagner. Like, if Jubilee was in the last episode during the Genosha arc, I bet she wouldn't do much for real because this is not a birthday party. I'm sorry, like, we saw Nightcrawler fighting to the neck to save as much people as he can during the Godzilla Sentinel attack. Bro was literally so useful and you can see it. Jubilee's abilities wouldn't have such impact if she was in that scene. Her fans are probably gonna roast me here, but please, instead of doing that, why not just make me see reasons why she deserves a spot on the official X-Men team over Nightcrawler. In this episode, Life Death Part 2, we were treated to another 2-part stories, just like in episode 4. The first episode focused on Professor Xavier's arc and the sheer Empire, while the second part continues Storm and Forge's journey. The sheer Empire storyline was really engaging. We got some epic fight scenes and intriguing characters like Deathbird and Gladiator. For me, they stole the show anytime they graced the screen. Deathbird was so funny that it made her a standout highlight in this episode for me. We explored the world and culture of the sheer Empire in this episode. I like seeing the people of the Empire and it's funny how they all have the same makeup and head shape. I can't even tell if this is their hair or generally how their heads are shaped like. I also noticed that the life forms that looked different from them were like their servants. They looked like horses and we only saw them working. The mini Game of Thrones tussle they had going on in this episode made things spicy and it was fun to watch. Seeing Professor X again and finding out that he's out in space playing love while X-Men and the rest of the world literally thought he was dead was the funniest thing. The episode started off with Deathbird in a battle with the Kree out in the space. She is the sister of the sheer Empire's Empress, Lilandra. It appears she'll be a problem because she got some nice moves, I can't lie, and her backup is crazy. I mean, look at the soldiers behind her. In the middle of the fight, she was interrupted with a call from her sister, Empress Lilandra. She was announcing her marriage to Professor Xavier. It was cool to see Professor X again and to know that he's alive. We got an inside look on what his relationship with Lilandra is actually like. It appears Charles wants to visit Earth again to see his X-Men and to let them know that he's alive, but Lilandra doesn't want him to leave because she fears he may not return. Instead, she wants him to send messages to them or maybe talk to them through a hologlobe. The main reason Lilandra wants Charles around is so that when they finally conquer the Kree, he can help educate them about the sheer Empire's culture, just like how he did with the X-Men back on Earth. Deathbird and the people of the sheer Empire fully don't accept the marriage between Charles and Lilandra because they don't trust humans whom they refer to as Terrans, and if you're a mutant, that is worse because they see them as inferior and lower caste compared to humans. They don't want the sheer Empire to be in alliance with Earth and they know that that is what their marriage will bring about. What's funnier is Deathbird referring Earth as Milky Ghetto.
Xavier would see his Milky Way ghetto become our new throne world.
Like, why would she say that? In order to test Charles' loyalty to the Empire, Deathbird decided to invoke the right of Indasha on him, a ritual that requires a non-share person to undergo a loyalty test before marrying a royalty. But Deathbird, being a bad bitch, she put a spin to it and demands that Charles renounces Earth and erases all memories of it, including those of his X-Men, and then task Lilandra to do the erasure. That way, according to her, Charles can prove his loyalty to the Empire. When I tell you that she's a bad bitch, guys, Charles actually agreed to have his memory of Earth erased, but he revealed to Gladiator during a conversation that the only memory he wouldn't want to lose would be that of Magneto. This goes to show how much he values their friendship. When the time for Charles' memory erasure came and he was asked to erase all memories of the X-Men, he hesitated and ultimately had a change of heart because he just couldn't go on with it. Deathbird is manipulative as she knew it was unreasonable to have Charles erase his memory of where he came from. I mean, who would do that? I wouldn't do it. Deathbird wants to take over the throne from Lilandra, so this was the best plan she could come up with to achieve her mission. Given that Charles refused to have his memory erased, Deathbird resorted to accusing Lilandra of being unfit to rule due to her association with Charles. Her aim was to sway the council in her favor.
Renounce her before her lovesick lunacy destroys us all! Sedition!
Lilandra saw through her plans and then ordered to have her arrested along with anyone supporting her, but Deathbird obviously won't go down easily. She attempted to attack Lilandra, but Gladiator swiftly intervened with a powerful blow of the century. I felt this in my brain, guys. The whole scene was becoming chaotic and Charles came to his senses and realized who the fuck he was. He then decided to flex his psychic abilities on them. He gathered everyone present, including the council members, and put everyone in a classroom. Like, he literally showed them why he is called the professor. That was just so funny. He lectures them on the hypocrisy of the sheer empire and how they only thrived on genocide to conquer smaller races and intergalactic species. Like I said earlier, they have other species as servants, and this is what they do. They conquer weaker cultures for their own benefit. While Charles was still lecturing on this, at the mention of his X-Men and the children of Atom, he was interrupted by a psychic vision of the massacre in Genosha and an image of Gambit morphing into a skeleton. He then realized what went down and deeply regretted not being there for his X-Men, then vowed to return to his X-Men and never to turn his back on them. Like, bro literally told Lilandra that if leaving will end their relationship, then so be it. I must say, I really appreciated the voice acting during this time. Like, you could feel the shock and panic in Professor X's voice at the realization of what happened in Genosha. The second part of the episode was the continuation of Forge and Storm's arc. Back in episode 4, if you recall, it ended with the debut of the demon called the Adversary. It had beat Forge and poisoned him. In this episode, we saw that the poison was spreading throughout his body and almost killing him, but Storm helped him find a cure for the poison and saved him. But it wasn't as easy as I just made it look. The Adversary was heavily tormenting Storm with her greatest fears, which was claustrophobia. Storm is scared of tight places and confined spaces, and the remedy that could save Forge happened to be in a tight confined space. Initially, it posed to be a problem for Storm, but she was able to overcome her fears by getting the cure for Forge against all odds, and that helped her regain her confidence and ultimately getting her abilities back. It turned out Forge's machine from episode 4 actually restored Storm's abilities, but she just couldn't access them at the time because she needed to overcome her fears and past traumas, which was claustrophobia, in order to fully unleash her powers. And that was exactly what she did. She literally said enough is enough, and then she got her powers back.
So let them thunder, for I am lightning!
It was so amazing to see Storm back, guys, and with a new outfit. What I love about this new outfit is her full hair, because I was never a fan of that signature mohawk style. It didn't just sit well with me. I liked the background theme song as she was flying around. It was just so cool to see Storm back. We saw her later on put on the TV and got the news of the massacre in Genosha. Just before the episode ended, we got a big reveal that Sinister was behind the massacre in Genosha. Like, this guy gets on my last nerve, guys. He's so annoying and I just can't wait for his demise. Like, it's gonna be so epic. Next episodes are gonna be so epic. The only thing I hated about Storm and Forge's arc was how rushed it felt, but it wasn't poorly executed. I just felt like it was rushed. Deathbird was a badass in my opinion, and Gladiator was really cool to watch. I just wish we could get more of him later on in the show. Now that Storm and Charles have all seen the news of the Genosha massacre, they will both be going back to help the X-Men in their fight, and then it will be more fun to have the full team around. Like, Professor X is here, guys, and we also have Nightcrawler in the team. We are slowly getting to the end of this season, and I heard that episode 8 to 10 will be super thrilling. I just can't wait for what's to come, guys. If you made it to this level of the video, you are the real MVP. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think about this episode in the comments. I'll see you guys in my next video. I am out of here.